Thank you all for coming. These are a few of our fifth grade students that represent the fifth grade orchestra. We generally have, I think, 27 or 28 students. So this is about a third of them, those that were able to come tonight to play for the Board of Education and whoever else is here. So this is part of a concert we did a few weeks ago. So we are going to present it to you right now. So thank you all for coming. So what? Jolly Old St. Nick. These are wonderfully dedicated students and their families. They have to get up at, I don't know, 6 o'clock in the morning and get on the bus and get here before school. So we start practice by 7:30 in the morning before the day starts. So it takes quite a bit of sacrifice on their parts and the family's parts and the bus drivers and everybody to get us here on time. But the good part about it is we get a nice long rehearsal and we enjoy our time together. It maybe takes us 10 minutes to get away, but after that, we're all good, ready to go, right? All right, like tomorrow morning, they'll be here at 7 7:15. And we're going to do a hall concert tomorrow, which means we'll set up outside of the office there and play for the staff and the students as they walk in the door. So that's kind of fun. Some of the students were able to come to my concert last Friday night. So we keep quite busy and we have a great time together. The next thing we're going to play is called French Folk Song. And for our concert, we called it the Christmas Lullaby because I found it 3 different books with 3 different titles. So I figured we were at liberty to call it what we wanted. So at Christmas time, it's a Christmas lullaby. And many of these students have chosen to go to compete to an Erie County. They go in front of a judge in January on the 11th on a Saturday, and they play this solo, and they get graded on it. And they are competing against all other kids from the county. And they're brave enough to do that. So I give them a lot of credit for that as well, because that takes a lot of courage. So French folk song and the variations, and an Ugga Mugga version. Nicely done. Nice job, cellos and basses with your own part there. Probably one of our favorite songs for this Christmas season was a song from the 800s. That's a long time ago, 800s. O Come Emmanuel. Just has a haunting melody that just kind of grabs your heart. And they decided it was their favorite.
guess I gotta go make copies of this. Or did I already?
It goes you, Don,
Marlene?
Cheryl.
Oh, yeah, Cheryl, Marlene.
Okay.
Let me go put the agendas out.
And for our last number, it is no introduction. Thank you for allowing us to come and play for you. One girl is even her birthday today.
Ooh,
How
birthday.
exciting that is.
Do you guys know how to play Happy Birthday, Mrs. Alden?
Pardon?
Do you know how to play Happy Birthday?
We do.
Let's do it.
We have It's up to you. When you're the birthday girl, you can do what you want. Mrs. Ansel wants to sing to you.
I love birthday.
Got it? There. You have it memorized? I'm surprised because sometimes if grandma has a birthday, we'll call on the phone and play for grandma over the phone happy birthday, and they get such a kick out of doing that. It's a little tricky to know who's going to still be awake by 8 o'clock in the morning, but we usually figure it out.
That's awesome.
We leave lots of messages. Find it yet? Well, I think you'll just have to think. Here we go. Ready? It starts on D. Okay.
Who's the birthday girl?
Birthday girl.
Happy birthday, Mackenzie.
Who needs a new violin? Is it on time? Wow. All right, let's see cereal. No, not yet. Merry Christmas, everyone!
So you came out just for us tonight on this cold windy night? Kids did? Oh my goodness, what a nice Christmas gift. Thank you so much. That was really nice.
All right. We're going to call the meeting to order. Can everyone please stand for the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. No? No. Okay. So we have a request to withdraw specific items from consent agenda. And
No? Anybody? Okay.
okay, that upon the recommendation of the superintendent, consensus items C through R be approved.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Abstained? Motion carried.
Public comment. This is the time that the board has designated to receive statements from individuals and groups. The board will review all statements, then respond appropriately at a future meeting. All persons in attendance are required to sign the attendance sheet and designate their representation status. For example, parent, teacher, bus driver, Chamber of Commerce, etc. There is a 2-minute time limit.
Hi, Pat Profick. I went to the concert last week at the high school for the orchestra and the chorus, saw my girls, and I was reminded of something that I wanted to ask. How are we supposed to park with the new bus striping when there's an event? People sometimes park up against the sidewalk, sometimes they park back, and it gets kind of messy. And I was wondering if anything has ever come out as a guidance of how we're supposed to park now. Because when there's big events and concerts, it's kind of, nobody knows what to do.
I have a question. Have you reached out to Mr. Cervoni?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I'll be there Friday. I have to pick up Camille for a
Okay.
dentist.
We can
but
do that too,
run it
but
by- yeah,
since
I was
that's
just-
his building, that's what
Yeah.
I would recommend you
I
do.
was kind of curious if there
I
was-
understand it because the striping is
Yeah.
gone from where the buses are, right?
Yeah.
So you've almost lost a whole row or two,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we don't quite know what to do, so. All right, I will check with him. Thanks.
Good evening, Superintendent Anzalone and board members. My name is Jennifer Donovan, and in the past 2 weeks, you've received email communications from myself regarding New York State proposed medical mandates. I'm here this evening to request your continued support as a concerned mother. I'm not asking the district to support a pro or anti-vaccine debate. I'm asking you to support parental choice, student rights, and doctor-patient confidentiality. You will be presented with a petition later this evening from over 70 district residents who share the same concerns. While the boards across the state are willing to put their opposition in writing, others are being told that these bills will not pass and have been on the table for 10 years. The same was said of the religious exemptions before those were stripped away in June. Please do not be fooled into thinking that a vote like that won't happen the exact same way for these 6 bills. I ask you, please compose a letter of opposition to our state assemblymen. Over 14 districts statewide, including Clarence Central Schools locally, have composed letters. Boards of education from Lancaster, Iroquois, Holland, Iroquois, East Aurora, Warsaw, and Pioneer are also being addressed this week by concerned parents like myself. I ask you to stand with parents. Stand with us and support our request to inform every district parent of the language presented in these 6 bills. These medical mandates will override our rights and our choice to decide what is in the best interest of our children. As our elected board, residents entrust their children to your guidance and daily care. Eden is a close-knit, small community. We pride ourselves on clear communication, shared decision-making, and transparency. I fully expect the same of you as our elected Board of Education. As stakeholders in this process, please uphold our trust by sending a straightforward flyer or email communication to parents stating them what the state is anticipating. This single act of communication with parents in the district can simply be educating and informing them of the bill language, not a pro or anti-vaccine debate. While these requests may be difficult for you to consider, I ask you to heavily weigh the consequence of not communicating this information with parents and the influence these bills will have over our enrollment, the trust, and the educational well-being of Eden Central students. As our elected officials, I please ask you and entrust you to work with parents and inform them of the decisions that will be highly impactful to their children. Thank you for your time and hearing my considerations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Donovan.
Good evening. My name is Beth Wiersba. I'm here with Jen for the same reason. Her and I both, like she said, collected over 70 signatures. I'm just going to go ahead and read off the petition that we made up, and I have this to give to you tonight, along with all of the bills proposed that are coming up in January, along with what she said, the HPV mandate, the flu mandate, but also vaccines being administered at school without parental knowledge or consent. And that's the age of 9, children 14 and older, so it's all school-age children. And here's, like I said, the bills, and I do have a sample bill from one of the school districts that they did send to legislators, just for you to review that, because this is what we're also asking. So I'm just going to go ahead and read the petition. This petition is being presented to the Eden Central District by citizens of the same school district. It is in regard to the upcoming legislation in Albany up for vote next month. Senate Bill S-298B will mandate all children born after January 1st, 2009 get the HPV vaccine and the flu vaccine in order to attend school. We have great concerns about the safety and effectiveness of some of these vaccines. HPV is not contagious in settings that are part of a typical school day. It is not transmitted through air, saliva, touch, or typical physical contact. Sexual contact alone spreads this virus. This is not a health risk in a school setting, as students are not having intercourse as part of their daily school activities. Many parents also believe that the low effectiveness of the flu vaccine each year makes the risk outweigh the benefits of yet another vaccination. Parents and licensed doctors are capable of making these health decisions for children in New York, and they should not be allowed to do so without the government overreach of a small number of elected officials who refuse to hear the voices of the people they represent. We are asking you, as members of the Eden Central School Board, to join other school districts across New York State in standing up against these upcoming mandates. Allowing such bills to become law will negatively affect this district in many ways. More families will pull their children from the school district and be forced to homeschool, as we have already seen with the June mandates earlier this year. HPV vaccine-related injuries, which is well over 56,000 to date, 500 being death, will result in lawsuits when students are receiving these vaccinations without parental knowledge or consent during school hours. All these happenings are in the works according to the above-mentioned bills and the others scheduled in New York. And as I said, I have them listed here. As tax-paying citizens, we feel it is our right and duty to inform each of you of these concerns that will affect our district should these upcoming bills be signed into law. Please see the attached list of concerned district residents who have signed their name to show disapproval of such bills. Please consider carefully, as elected board members of this district, how your efforts or lack thereof will affect not only our students, but all the students across the state. Thank you for your time in hearing our voices. And again, as Jen said, I just want to reiterate, this is about parents' choice. Parents and the doctors should be making these decisions for our kids. It should not be forced by our government. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
I'll give this to you at the end.
You could bring it.
Anybody else? Okay, new business. That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the resignation for the purpose of retirement of Director of Finance.
Director of Special Ed,
Bye, Laura.
Sean Johnson be accepted effective March 16th, 2020. The board and administration wish to thank Mrs. Johnson for her 14 years of service to the district.
Second. Any discussion?
Well, I can tell you it's been a really difficult time trying to do a job description on Sean Johnson. I think it's 4 pages long, and that's even cut back and consolidated. She's a force to try to replace.
I can't imagine the special ed department without Sean Johnson, because she's done so much to, it's just changed and grown and so dramatically, and it's such a solid program. So you will be greatly missed, but enjoy your retirement. It's wonderful.
I know as a BOCES employee, we're going to miss you as well.
You don't have to vote yes.
I know, we could vote no, and then what happens?
Yeah. Well, and it says you're director of finance, so I don't know.
Another hat you didn't even know you wore.
I have some paperwork for you in my office to complete.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Congratulations.
Okay. That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the resignation of school nurse Kelly Ray be accepted effective December 4th, 2019. The board and administration wish to thank Mrs. Ray for her 5 years of service to the district.
Second.
Any discussion?
Kelly Ray accepted a position in another district closer to home.
Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstained? Motion carried.
All right, new business. Appointments. That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, after successfully completing her probationary period, Lindsay Kurt be granted tenure as an elementary education teacher effective January 21st, 2020.
Second.
Any discussion?
So I didn't do any research on this, Lindsay, but if I recall, you were hired under a different tenure area and then switched. So you've been here more than 4 years. So she's been here 5 or 6, am I right? 4 and something. So she started out in special ed and then switched over to elementary.
Reading.
Reading, thank you, within the L-Ed.
Anything else? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Abstained? Motion carried.
Congratulations. All right. That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, Haley Herc, who is initially certified in students with disabilities grades 7 through 12, generalist, and social studies 7 through 12, is hereby appointed to a probationary position in the special education tenure area for a probationary period commencing January 29th, 2020, and ending on January 28th, 2024. Now to read the rest.
Second.
Any discussion?
So some of you may know we've had an eye on Haley for a long time, and you may also know that the special ed certifications are one of the most complicated in any state, including New York State. And so finally we have a match in terms of the special education certifications we need, and I also want to thank Sean Johnson for being creative and her teachers for being flexible in what they're willing to teach so that Haley can come to Eden.
Anything else? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Congratulations.
Okay. That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, William O'Hare III, who is initially certified in health education, physical education, and as an educational technology specialist, is hereby appointed on probation as a health and physical education teacher in the health and physical education tenure areas, commencing on January 27, 2020, and ending on January 26, 2023.
Second.
Any discussion?
So we are excited for you to vote on Bill, and as he will tell you that he knows this is the right decision because it was it the same day you made the decision or the day after?
A few days after.
A few days after he made the decision to come to Eden, his car was stolen during the school day. And so he's here in a rental car because they still haven't found his car. I can guarantee you no one will steal your car out of the Eden School District parking lot, okay?
They might take it for a ride, but they'll bring it back. Just kidding.
Anything else?
Yes, so, I'm sorry, Bill O'Hare will come in and work with Kathy Klopp for a full week, but we want him here to begin the second semester, so those will be his students in health. And again, he understands that he is following in some really big shoes, and we know for a fact, after working with Bill in his interviews, that he'll be just fine. We're thrilled to have him.
Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstained? Motion carried.
Congratulations.
You don't have to stay if you want to take your rental car home.
Thank you.
Thank you. That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, Ashley Garrity, who is a registered professional nurse, be appointed on probation as a school nurse effective January 2nd, 2020, and ending July 1st, 2020. Salary is based upon CSE contract level 13, step 1.
Second.
Any discussion?
Super excited about bringing her in too. Sean helped me, but she comes from more of a hospital where there's been emergencies and crises, and so we're excited about that. So she can help us with some of that too.
Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstained? Motion carried.
That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, Stephanie Anderson be appointed on probation as a cleaner effective December 16th, 2019, and ending June 15th, 2020. Salary is based upon CSEA contract level 2, step 1.
Second.
Any discussion?
So Dave Martin would tell you he's super excited to have her come in because he's breaking into the hotel industry. And so she's our first coming out of one of the hotels in Hamburg.
Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstained? Motion carried.
That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, Judy Maynard be appointed as a home instructor effective December 19th, 2019.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstained? Motion carried.
That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the 10-year probationary date for school counselor Shannon Fitzgerald be adjusted to end on August 31st, 2020.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstained? Motion carried.
That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, effective December 19th, 2019, the assistant treasurer contract be extended through June 30th, 2022.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Abstained? Motion carried.
That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the independent contractor agreement with Joseph Lucenti for coaching the new high school principal, December 20th, 2019 through June 30th, 2020.
Second.
Any discussion?
So this is new for Eden, but I'm really excited about it. We have 3 administrative positions that are open, which is actually a third of our administrative staff. And so what the board has agreed to, and I appreciate that support from all of you, is to bring on an outside coach who has done the exact same job to work with our new administrators. And so we have one. This is Joe Lucenti, who's been here since August, who will come in to work with Jason Lyons. And then I will also bring one to you for our new athletic director. And then we have a hire for our PPS director, Sean's replacement, that I will also be asking if you would approve a coach for that person as well.
Perfect. Anything else? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried.
That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the attached list of out-of-date textbooks from Eden Elementary School be accessed and disposed of as the district deems appropriate.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried.
That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the attached list of out-of-date technology items be accessed and disposed of and/or recycled as the district deems appropriate.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried.
Business report.
So I wanted to report to the Board of Education that 98% of the school taxes were collected from the local town clerks. The balance will be turned over to the county and will be re-sent out to taxpayers on their county tax bills. And then in April, the county will make us whole for the $230,000 approximate dollars that they are collecting for us. We are guaranteed to be paid by the system in full for our levy by the county for those that have not paid, whether or not they pay their county tax. So we also received $14,700 in late penalties collected from taxpayers, so that is extra money that will help the district. And then, like I said, the taxes should come back in April 2020 from the county. And I wanted to let the board know, there's been a lot of talk in the 3 years that I've been here, and Kelly LaRosa, the principal for Eden Elementary, and Lauren Carter, they've done a great job. They are getting grants from the Kids to Parks and the Farm to School that allows all the students from K to 5 to have one field trip a year with no district cost. So I really want to thank them for going out and doing that. And now the next thing we want to talk about is overdue school lunch accounts. A few years ago, school lunch shaming was prohibited, and we are no longer allowed to ask students or tell them in the line that you haven't paid your bill, could you tell mom to send in $5, whatever. So in response to that, we now have 282 accounts with negative balances that total $6,400 for our district. That's a lot of money. And this is as of December 5th. 214 of those accounts have balances less than $20, so we expect to collect those. Those are things like Joey ate 2 lunches and he was only supposed to get 1, but he was hungry. Things like that, or mom just, payroll for the family didn't match up with putting money on the students' accounts. 45 of those are between $21 and $75. 7 we have account balances of $76 to $100. 9 are from $101 to $150. 7 are over $150, with the highest balance being $330. Yes. Well, some of them are rolled over from last year, but yes, that's where we are right now on our school lunch collections. So because of this law, I wanted to kind of let you know, start letting you know, and I'm going to start letting you know and reminding you of where we stand in this collections issue. Because as the general fund has to subsidize the cafeteria, this adds to that burden.
So quick question. So for the families who have excessively high amounts that are due, is there any conversation, maybe this is a strong question, about free and reduced lunch applications? Because
I work very close with a lot of these families, and we're working through, we also have a lot of these accounts through our dress-out funds and things like that. I thought I had the amount.
You're going to retire without getting to talk.
I'm sorry. We do this, we work with these families a lot, okay? So we do offer the free and reduce. I have the conversation with them. I cannot twist people's arms because a lot of times they're not eligible, but they still have a balance. We do support, we help, we have in most all 3 buildings. I work with Debbie Dole of clearing some of those accounts out and helping these families, but it's really hard to get some to fill out the form.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to tell what's hardship and what's just
the follow through, yeah.
Okay, superintendent's report.
I'm going to use Lauren's because or Laura, you're Laura, right? I'm going to use Laura's because I still can't get mine started, sorry. I just have 2 simple things to state. One is that our director of PPS's office, which is Sean's office, is officially moving in the next week or 2 into GLP. That office will be located in Lauren Carter's former office. This puts us at 2 administrators at GLP, which is exactly what we were looking for safety and security reasons. They should be on site, hopefully before the students return back after winter recess. Brenda Bergstaller will become the new senior clerk in that office. I actually think she's doing it just so she can sit where she has sat for the last 15 years. So she'll go back into the original office that she was in as the PPS office before they moved. And GLP is currently canvassing for a new secretary to replace her. And then just a reminder that this Friday is our last day of school for 2019. I hope everybody has a safe and a wonderful holiday, and we'll resume back on January 2nd.
All right, and no student report tonight, so board report, roundtable. Anybody?
What was I supposed to bring up again? Oh, we need an audit finance meeting probably January 2nd. It's a
So that's the
Thursday.
first Thursday
First
that
Thursday after we come back.
we come back. I think while
So-
we can all get together in a room, We can't all have a voice.
What we're looking for is, we have 3 members on the Audit Finance Committee, and I believe the action is that they're saying is, if you're interested in the conversations regarding the health insurance bid and you're a board member, this would be the time for you to come in and listen and gather information that might be pertinent to you. It is an open meeting.
Okay.
Anybody have anything else?
I have a couple things. So I did attend the speed boarding at the Erie County Association for School Boards with Sandy, and they had 5 20-minute sessions. One was on using social media effectively for public relations, which we are already on board with. They talked about maximizing your money through capital projects. It was done by an architect. There's professional grant writing services available. School safety, there was a group that talked about school safety materials, and the UB Institute of Trauma talked about how they can come to schools and teach, work with trauma-informed care, and that was interesting. The other thing I want to do is just thank the entire school on behalf of the Eden North Collins Food Pantry, because I volunteer there. And they've been very generous this Christmas. The GLP and the elementary school donated so many items for the Christmas sharing program, which we had Christmas sharing today there. The middle school and high school previously last month had a food drive and gave lots of food. I don't know how many pounds, I can't remember. And the ETA, we get a very generous check from the ETA Dress Down Fund, and I just can't tell you how appreciated it is. It really goes such a long way, so thank you for all that you've done in that respect. And to the 5th grade orchestra, again, that was awesome of them to play for us, so it was nice.
Anybody have anything else?
Anybody else? Okay, then. The next regular Board of Education meeting is January 15th, 2020 at 7 p.m. in the Eden Elementary School auditorium. And now to adjourn, right? That upon the recommendation of the superintendent, the Board of Education meeting be adjourned at 7:35 p.m.
Somebody needs a second.
Anybody?
Second.
Third, fourth, fifth, sixth.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Motion carried. Have a great holiday.
Yay.
Merry Christmas.
Wonderful
Happy New
holiday,
Year.
everybody.
7:35, that's a
That was a quick one.
Stay warm.